we think about you really negotiating your career. It's constantly in process. So what have you learned about that? So things to do differently or things that you were glad you did?
Yeah, so I guess I'd put 2 or 3 observations. One is the advice that my undergraduate college counselor gave me, which I hated as advice, and now give it to other people so they can hate it too. So you get ready. Which is when you're out negotiating a job, get the lowest salary and the lowest title that you can achieve in that first interaction with whatever company it is. And I remember he told me that. I thought, that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I want to do the exact opposite, right? And this is an economics professor, so that was particularly annoying.
What college was this at?
Occidental College. No. But so, but in Woody Studeman is his name, and the principle was, you want to blow people away. You want to come in with expectations set that you're going to blow away and start a path of success in your career. So if you come in at the highest possible title and the highest possible salary, you dramatically decrease the chance. Now, there's a certain side that sort of says, well, I don't want to set a low bar for myself. And so you got to be cautious about going too far the other way. But really set up people that you're going to wow them. Make sure that when you get done with that first year, everyone's excited to have you on board. Now, obviously, you'd say, why don't I go get the highest I can start and then still wow everyone? And of course, that sounds great. But a lot of this is around don't try to get the best short-term deal. And one of the things that I sometimes think about is if you're taking your first job out of college or your first job out of graduate school, the difference in the salary of the various jobs you might be considering, unless you're really one of these people that's all over the map, but if you sort of focus down into a core area, is not that much. And if you go into it and extract $5,000 more or $10,000 more in that initial salary, it won't have that big of an impact on your lifestyle in that next period. It might be nicer or better. And it won't really have very much impact in the long term, but you've got an interesting relationship you're building as part of your business career with this first place that you're starting. And so if the cost to get that extra $5,000 is people looking at you saying, you're really focused on yourself and you're fundamentally selfish in what you're trying to do because you know you're making the company uncomfortable, you're stretching a band or whatever it is you're doing that's difficult for them to yield, they're really learning something about you and they're thinking something about the long-term relationship. And I think that issue is much more important than that first starting piece.
And let me just echo that. It probably, some of you are probably thinking, Stan told him to say that, because it's basically exactly what I say. But how often, just to really hit that point home, how often have employees that have worked for you kind of been hiding out in the weeds, doing an unbelievable job, and you didn't recognize it?
So it is fairly uncommon to find someone that you later realize was a star and they were not noticed. So I would say quality rises to the top, but at the same time, it doesn't mean quality is always recognized right away. So in terms of the somewhat of a leading question, but appropriately so, is that sometimes companies miss stuff for a while. And so you could be that star that's hiding out in the weeds for a while and be missed, but I really do believe in the long run cream does rise and you will be noticed. It doesn't mean you can't ever be self-promotional. It doesn't mean you can't say, hey, I just did this fantastic work and I want to share that with people. And there's a professional way to do that. Again, on the genuineness side, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to someone and saying, I just did some work I'm really proud of and I wanted to share it with you because I hope you feel great about it and I want your opinion. Should I feel really good about it? And I think if you said that directly versus coming up with some sneaky way to try to sneak it under someone or be faux self-depreciating. This is terrible. I know it's terrible, but here it is. People sort of see through that.